Hey, deserving listeners. So this is part 3 in my mini deep dive on trauma dumping and how it relates to Love is Blind Season 8. I am watching key scenes, particularly between Madison and Alex, and I have developed a lecture on trauma dumping. I have thought about it a lot, and I have taken a lot of notes, and I have been providing that lecture through this series. So let's watch a little bit more of the show.
I've been single for 2 years now.
And I think that's why I was really drawn to this experiment. The emotional and intellectual part for me is really important for that physical attraction to be there as well.
Yeah, I really like that we got really deep here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for opening up and sharing. That means a lot to me.
I mean, thank you for being a safe space.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that, and I hope I get to...
As I've been reviewing, when watching the scenes with Alex and with Mason, I am looking for signs of indications of trauma dumping as I have defined it in this miniseries. If you want to explore that definition with me, because I'm kind of exploring it as I go, because I spent a lot of time thinking about it and taking notes and preparing for a lecture on trauma dumping. And as I was presenting it in the member section, I, as usual, thought, well, wait, what about this situation? And I would refine it. Anyway, so one of the main indicators of trauma dumping, and we can never know watching from the outside necessarily, but there's a lot of indications that this was not trauma dumping, because Madison just got done sharing her issues. I don't know if we'd say trauma, but things that are sad in her life, bad things that have happened to her, or at least topic sentences of those things with Mason. And Mason, not only in the moment, was responding with kindness and bits of empathy, but also at the end, he says, "Thank you for going deep. That means a lot to me." And they're checking in with each other about, is this okay? Was that okay? And this is the first time they've met, so they wouldn't know if it was okay, right? So it's just another indicator that trauma dumping, at least at this point, was not happening. And the claim that Madison was trauma dumping is, in my view, just stigmatization that's always in our culture about people talking about whether it's trauma or sadness or just even anything negative is considered to be wrong, or there's just all these messages that I reviewed in a previous chapter of this miniseries of rules that we have learned that tell all of us to shut up about your issues, to shut up about your sadness, to shut up about, what's plaguing you, to shut up about what you're angry about, particularly if you're a woman, by the way. And also that fair section of the audience, I hope it's a minority, but it's a loud voice on the internet that is just looking for people to bully. And Madison, I think, is a bit of a lightning rod for those needs that people have. People are insecure, and one of the ways that they try to build themselves up is to put other people down. And who better to do that to than someone on a reality TV show? And if you can do it with a mob of people and all of you agree that they're a horrible person and that this one individual deserves to be attacked, then all the better. Then you can feel a tiny bit better about yourself for half a minute while you're typing that thing out on the internet. And so Madison was being accused of trauma dumping as a part of that effort, in my opinion. I have feelings about it. Now, later on, we'll get, and I'll review that scene again. Are there moments of the edited show that we can criticize and be concerned about? Yes. But that doesn't mean that everything that Madison did was a horrific, evil, trauma-dumping, manipulative thing. Anyway, let's continue watching.
Where I get you flowers or just randomly write you a little note. I love the little things.
Something as small as, I say I'm hungry and then there's a knock on the door 20 minutes later and it's my favorite food or something Taco Bell. That makes me happy.
I love Taco Bell.
I got a tattoo that says Taco.
Okay, so this scene has nothing to do with my little mini-series right now on trauma dumping in Madison, but while I'm rewatching the show, there's been little scenes where I kind of want to highlight. This is one of them where, again, Taylor, after getting out of the pods, was worried that Daniel went into the pods knowing who she was because he had seen her Instagram and had noted that she liked Christmas and Taco Bell. And now Taylor was mortified once she realized that she was wrong about all that. So that's okay. All's well that ends well. And she apologized for it really well. So, but in the moment when she was talking about her worries while she was in that space of worrying about that, I couldn't recall exactly how the Taco Bell topic came up. And the way that Taylor was remembering it, it sounded like, from her memory anyway, that he brought up the topic of Taco Bell because he had seen her Instagram. Now, I have to say, people liking Taco Bell and Christmas is not, in my world, particularly unique. So now, if you liked, I don't know, President's Day and Groundhog's Day, you're really into President's Day and Groundhog's Day, and your favorite restaurant was, I don't know, some obscure little pizza joint or something, then I would say, oh yeah, maybe that is. Anyway, but regardless of that, it doesn't matter because she was the one who said, oh my God, I want to be with someone who would just bring food home for me. And by the way, that's my love language as well. And Stacy does bring me takeout sandwiches, tater tots. By the way, shout out to Valhalla Sandwiches, which is nearby. I mean, not super close to my house. I'm not doxing myself by saying, but Valhalla Sandwiches, so great. If you ever, and their tots are pretty good too, but they have odd hours though. Anyway, because Stacy frequently brings me sandwiches from there. Anyway, so, and the ones I usually get are the ham and cheese and grilled onions or the tuna fish. And when you think tuna fish sandwich, you're like, but no. Whatever you have in your head, it's way tuna melt, and the bread is perfectly like thick but crispy, but not too crispy. And the tuna is tuna, but not too tuna-y. And there's a fair amount of the tuna in there, but not too much tuna. Anyway, it's all about balances with sandwiches with me. I eat a lot of sandwiches. I had a friend in college that said that if sandwiches caused cancer, I would definitely have sandwich cancer because of how many sandwiches I eat. Anyway, tangent. But Taylor brings it. So she's like, I want someone who brings me food, like my favorite food, like Taco Bell. And then he just goes, oh, I love Taco Bell. And then she launches in. So if he went into the pods trying to manipulate the detail of Taco Bell, then that was not a good attempt. The way you do it is for him to talk about, oh my God, I love, in fact, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo of Taco Bell. And she'd be like, huh? Oh my God. Then that would be suspicious. But so it's just, she was mortified. And I expect that if she were standing right here, we would both laugh about it. I'm not making fun of her. So, when you make a mistake, it's a stressful situation. You just meet this, and I talked about it at the time, that it would be normal in that moment, meeting in the hallway and then going away, and then you're sleeping in the same bed, that you would have a part of you that would just be like, do I know this person? We're now closer than I've ever, like on paper, I'm closer to this person than possibly I've been to anyone aside from like my family or my parents or something. And yet I have really no idea who this person is. And particularly, I don't have an association with the way that they looked. That was a stranger. The voice I knew well, but the body and the face, that was a stranger. And I'm still trying to match it up. It's normal that you would have some anxiety and maybe some paranoia. Like, do I know this? But what's going on? Even without traumas, but if you had traumas, right? And you could see someone, because it was that very next day or that night that you'd be like, wait, there was that thing and there was that thing. What was it? And I kind of remember, and I remember seeing his Instagram, and oh my God, it's normal. And then she put it out there, and she looked for evidence. Production gave her a phone back, and she figured out, and she's like, oh, sorry. Oh my God, that was really ridiculous. She said something like, you must think I'm a crazy person. So, we're all prone to craziness now and then.
Oh my God, I have never broken up with anyone.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always the person who gets broken up with.
Why do you think that is?
I just don't really like giving up. I want to do everything I can to make it work. And I feel like there's been a lot of times where I've been given up on and broken up with.
I forgot about that, I think. And I've been watching and skipping ahead. And so this is later on in the week. And Mason is talking about how, I forgot about that detail, that he says that he's always the one who's been broken up with. It kind of sounds like he's saying he's literally never broken up with anybody before. Now, that is interesting, depending on how many relationships that he is referring to. If he, for example, had, 8 relationships that required a breakup or more, and all of them he was broken up with, then it could be something about him, right? Not that he's a jerk face, but there could be something about either the sort of people that he chooses or that he just can't admit when a relationship has gone afoul, or he pushes people away. I don't know. Or he just has really bad luck, which is totally, when I talk with clients who are really demoralized about their dating history, part of it has to do with their narrative of their dating history and the particular people that they have dated in the past. But also, it can result in people thinking that they're doomed because of so many failed relationships. And it's just a matter of perspective and narrative and philosophy. But mine is that it takes a long time to find the right one, especially in today's expectations, at least in my cultural pocket, that we're looking for a lover, a best friend, a family member, a companion, a life best friend, you're going to have kids with this person. This is someone that you can party with and talk quietly with and joke around with and watch Love is Blind with and watch my channel. I love it when I hear that couples watch my videos, by the way. Sometimes people will tell me that, or they'll get one of the Kirk Grams, a cameo kind of thing, and they'll say that as a couple they watch these videos. And I don't know why it tickles. I do know why, but it really does tickle me. That's what I say. It really pleases me because I imagine that, one, you're watching Love is Blind, and then you also watch content on YouTube related to that show. But it's saying something that you would watch my videos, because I think it says that the 2 of you, or the 5 of you, if you're a polycule, are valuing communication, attachment, love, apologies, listening to the other person, accounting for other people's issues, giving people the benefit of the doubt. I would just imagine that if you weren't into that kind of thing, then I don't know if you'd be interested in watching my stuff, or in the process of watching my stuff, then you would become interested in it. Anyway, and I just think it's cute. Just imagining. The other thing that tickles me is when I hear about people watching me. This sounds funny, but while they're pregnant, and then they watch me continuing as their kid is born and being. This sounds all weird, but sometimes people will say that their infants, although aren't verbal yet, are recognizing my voice either from the womb or from early childhood, such that I'm sort of like Mr. Rogers in a sense, to these infants, where they like light up because. And I just think about all the people who will be like 35 years old and come across one of my videos or something, or my podcast, and they'll be like, something about that voice is just so familiar to me. And it's like, well, your mom was watching all these videos, from literally the day you were conceived until you went to preschool, and you just don't remember it. Anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight this because he got dumped yet again. He had 2 women that were interested in him, and both Madison and Meg broke up with him. So add those 2 more breakups to the list of all the women that have broken up with him. Now, I don't know, maybe he deserved it, or he's a jerk face. He doesn't come across like that at all in the edit. And, if Meg wasn't into him, that's totally fine. there, all's fair when it's making those decisions. But I don't know. I just feel bad for him.
So
Yeah.
I just think today has kind of made me think about my connections a lot more.
Yeah.
Which ones I can see existing past the pods. How are you feeling about our connection?
Okay, so I think this is the date between Madison and Mason. It's unfortunate because that would have gone well on a nameplate for a house or something, Madison and Mason. Along those lines, all my three siblings, they all married people that share the same first letter with themselves. Not on purpose, but whereas Kirk and Stacy we're the only ones that broke from that mold. So sometimes I'm like, is our marriage valid? Just joking. That's stupid. Anyway, it's late and I've been watching for a while. Anyway, so I think this is the date, I'm pretty sure, when I characterized it as Madison putting the screws to Mason. And I have to say, I'm a bit worried that I'll regret that label of putting the screws to Mason, because the more I watch, I'm wondering if I was misreading it. Now, it wasn't that long ago that I was saying that, so I'm leaning in the direction of I'll see something that will indicate that, but maybe it's anyway. But the rest of this video will be for members, because this is not me reacting in spontaneous time in terms of watching it for the first time. And so whenever I do these sort of one-off videos, I have these for the members because I want to thank the members so much for monetarily supporting what we are doing at Psychology in Seattle so I can even make this content. And I'm wondering if this will be the last video in this series, because we're nearing the end of what I plan on reviewing, which is more of my lecture on trauma dumping and also looking at the way Madison breaks up with Mason. I'm guessing I'll get to in this video. But anyway, if you're a member, hang in there. We'll continue. And by the way, these member videos are often long. Sometimes they're an hour and a half long. I don't think this one will be, but they're a lot longer than the typical videos that I make. Because I figure, well, if you're a member, you don't mind me yammering or watching a longer video. Anyway, so if you're not a member, consider becoming one if you care to and if you can afford it. Otherwise, along those lines, I don't know what to say there. If you're not a member, this is goodbye until the next video. And everyone, please take care of yourself. Truly, I truly mean that. Take care of yourself and think about what you need and how you're feeling. Take a breath, take a second, just like, what do I want? What do I feel? What do I need? What do I need to attend to? Maybe it's something I can attend to right now. If it's not, and it's important enough, maybe jot it down, think about it later. Because, busyness and other people asking you to do things can really get in the way of you paying attention to yourself. And then once you do that, you don't necessarily do it on your own. Ask for help. When I say take care of yourself, a part of that is asking for help, cultivating relationships where there's mutual taking care of each other. You know what I mean? I'm not saying do it on your own. None of us can do this on our own. Anyway, so take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.